Right, so we move to the next session in this course of infection prevention and control and for management of healthcare waste. So you see the first slide, which is about the steps in healthcare waste management, which starts with the evaluation of the waste generated in the hospital, to the storage of the waste, labeling of the waste, transportation and disposal of the waste, and then to plan for emergencies, train personnel and keep records. So up to the transport and dispose of your waste properly, you will be having those sessions in your course. Just to talk about the plan for emergencies. So what is an emergency in healthcare waste management? Data collection and storage and all these things. So sometimes it happens that the waste is being transported on the trolleys, and if it is not covered properly, it might spill over. So all the infectious waste might spill over on the way into the corridors. So how to deal with them? So that plan is very much important, and one aspect of that plan is this, that you cordon off that area. Nobody goes in. Only the people with proper personal protective equipment, with heavy gloves and heavy boots, with proper N95 masks, they go in with special equipment to pick up that and mop up that area. So the training of the personnel is very much important, along with the use of equipment and the personal protective equipment, and recording that event is very much important. And why it is important to record that event? Because to learn the lesson from that event, and so that it doesn't happen again. And if there were any loops and holes in executing the emergency plan, those could be rectified. So our next slide just shows us that the process of waste segregation, collection, storage, transportation, treatment, disposal, and then the monitoring and compliance. Monitoring and compliance is an important aspect, because the waste management team has one of those its primary responsibilities is to monitor and to see that the plan which is being executed is properly implemented and the compliance is there, and that is recorded. So all the monitoring and the compliance mechanism is in place, and it is working. So all the process of healthcare waste management, from segregation to final disposal, is recorded, monitored, and it is checked for the compliance with the SOPs or the standard operating procedures. So this slide just shows the sequence and the steps of the healthcare waste management, which we know already. We have talked a lot about it, and if you look at this schematic diagram, it gives you an idea what we have been talking about for the sharp waste, non-infectious waste, infectious waste, and highly infectious waste, etc. So the next slide stresses the importance of waste segregation at the point of its production, and again it shows the categories of infectious waste, sharps, pharmaceutical waste, chemical waste, and general and non-hazardous waste. So we collect the waste in appropriate containers or bags, and those are stored at the designated area within the facility to prevent cross contamination or access by the unauthorized personnel. So if you look at those pictures which are given at the bottom of this slide, you can see the sharp container and the yellow bag, which has a sign on it of biohazard. So it is on the red one as well, but the red one also has the infectious waste. This is 20%, and most of the waste is 80% is of the general waste, which is present in the black bag. So this is one of the pictures of transportation, and you can see it is being transported into the red trolleys. So always transport using specialized vehicles that meet the safety requirements, and here you can see that the personnel, they are also using the personal protective equipment, and they know how to handle the transportation process. This is one of the incinerators which is shown in the pictures. It's not of very high quality, but it was installed in one of the hospitals. Though it's not proper double chamber kind of, and it didn't have any very high chimney as well, and that's why it was kept closed due to its smoke, which was disturbing the nearby community. So always treat the waste based on its nature. For incineration, you use the high temperature to reduce the volume and eliminate pathogens, and usually that temperature is from 900 to 1200 degrees centigrade in a double chamber incinerator. For autoclaving, steam under pressure to sterilize the infectious waste. If the incinerator is not available or incinerator is not allowed in a vicinity, or you want to, if you have the problems with controlling the gases coming out of the incinerator, or there are some issues and you don't want to use the incineration, so you must use the autoclaving. Then you can do the chemical treatment, which is the neutralization process in which the different chemicals can be used. Even the hypochlorite solution is developed, is made, and the linen and the plastics, they are soaked into it for at least for half an hour. That neutralizes most of the pathogens which are in that material. And then all this can go into the landfill after minimizing it, incinerating it, autoclaving it, or disinfecting it. You can even shred it. So plastic can be shredded. Once disinfected, it can also be shredded into small pieces and then transported to the landfill, or you can recycle it or something like that. That can be done. So most of the non-hazardous waste goes to the landfill, and the ash from the incinerator that can also go to the landfill. But others, you can shred them, or you can recycle them with the vendor if fine. But most of the syringes or the blood bags, they're always neutralized and then shredded, and then usually plastic is not incinerated, but that can go into the pit. Regular monitoring, auditing, compliance with regulation is important. Inspections and record keepings and staff training to ensure the effectiveness is important. So just to recap, the healthcare waste management is a waste segregation system, and it is used to separate different hazardous substances according to their categories. There are sequence steps in the process of healthcare waste management, and we will be talking about them time and again. That's about waste segregation, waste collection, waste transportation, then to treat it and dispose of properly as per the guidelines, and to monitor and compliance for all the procedure. Thank you.